I really value my failures. Whatever I am today is because not only because of my successes, but also because of my failures. So right through my life, I've noticed that there's been times when people who are close to me and who care about me have told me, you're doing the wrong thing. And I've always felt that, I've listened to them very carefully. I've never ignored them. But I finally did what I felt like doing. And that's one thing that when I look back today, after 25 years of being a professional, I feel that that's one thing that I feel happy about. That I lived on my terms. See, today I'm successful. I may not have been successful. I may not have been successful. I didn't know I was going to be successful. But I'm happy that I lived on my terms. And I'm happy that I never compromised. Whenever I was offered something I was not happy with, I didn't do it.
But exactly as an extension to this question, I wanted to ask you, and then whom you defied gravity also. My question to you is that from a person who did the best, excellence was what you had chased, there was a pivotal moment, eureka moment. See, Archimedes also didn't wear clothes. What was your moment that you said, okay, I'm changing the graph a little bit? Like sportsmen change technique after a certain time. We see it. You may say that it may not have happened. What is your eureka moment?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I have always worked the same way. So I'm aware that when you look at me from afar, you might feel that, oh, up till here he was doing this and then suddenly he changed. That maybe Lagan is that changing point or the turning point, if you want to identify one. But for me, it wasn't even that. I have always done what I believed in. So even the films that have not worked or have not turned out that well, I believed in them. And they are mistakes which I own. And I hold them very close to me because I feel that, in fact, I have learned the maximum from my failures. My failures have taught me the most. And so I really value my failures. Whatever I am today is not only because of my successes, but also because of my failures. Whatever I've learned, through my failures. And so I have always done what I believed in, and I continue to do that. I think the one big changing point for me, or the turning point for me, was when I did Satyameva Jayate for television. And that's not part of film. That's not part of fiction or entertainment. It's part of life. And that was a big turning point for me. I think that was one specific step I took away from what I was otherwise doing. And that kind of came about, again, that didn't come about overnight. It came about over years and years of thinking, struggling internally. You read the papers, you read about injustice, you read about people who are less privileged than you, and you feel disturbed, you feel horrible sometimes, you feel angry, you feel frustrated, you feel helpless. A lot of emotions we go through when we come to know what's happening around us. And I used to feel that, why can't I do something about it? I need to do something about it. So I would, I would do donations, I would give out money, but that is not it wasn't enough for me, I felt. And there's another thing. One person has had a big influence on my life. My very close friend Satyajit Bhatkal, who happens to be the director of Satyameva Jayate. He and I were in school together, Satya and I. And Satya was the guy who always stood first in class. The topper, the front bencher. I was the back bencher who kind of was, floating around. But we became friends. Satya and I became friends.
Because you wanted his notes.
No. Because what happened is, what he could never get over was that we played a game of chess once, and he lost to me. So since then he was like, first class to main aata hu, class mein mere ko chess mein kaise hara sakta hai. So we became friends because of that, and then we kind of stuck together. But what I'm trying to say is that Satya was a person who had the world in front of him. He was a topper. He could do anything. Anything means anything. Really sharp guy. And when he came out of school, he went into social service. He went into coming out with newspapers that no one would read, and he was doing all kinds of things. And I used to think, क्या ये अपनी life बर्बाद कर रहा है? इतना bright future इस लड़के का, और ये अपनी life बर्बाद कर रहा है. But he was very passionate about what he was doing. He was very angry about the injustice happening to people who are not as privileged, and he would fight for them, and he would do all kinds of things. He would go and stand outside railway stations and give out flyers to people to read, कि देखो ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. No one used to listen to him. But he used to keep doing that. He used to keep doing that. And I used to look at him and whenever I met him, I used to feel guilty. Whenever I met him, I used to feel guilty. Because we are the same age, we began from school together. My career is going up with each film. I'm getting a bigger success, I'm getting more popular. And each time I meet him, he tells me, okay, yeah, you know, there was this thing we went for and these political guys came and they beat us up and all that. But doesn't matter, you know. अब वो पिट भी रहा है, वो डंडे भी खा रहा है, वो बेचारा पैसे भी नहीं कमा रहा है. तो I used to feel कि यार ये बंदा बड़ा कमाल का है और मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं फजूल हूँ.
You played
I'm
chess
wasting
well,
my life.
remember?
No, I said I felt like, you know, I'm not doing enough here. When I used to look at him, I used to feel guilty. Okay, what am I doing?